weekly community service show, Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia of Ahluwalia Law Offices. Tune into their show between 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Wednesday on 104.9 FM and ask her all your legal questions. Ms. Ahluwalia owns and operates Ahluwalia Law Offices PC. She received her law degree in 1996 from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, and also has a graduate degree in English Literature and Master of Philosophy in English Literature from the University of Punjab, Chandigarh in India. Ms. Ahluwalia is also a certified mediator and has served as an appointed mediator for Collin County Courts. In addition to regularly volunteering at legal aid clinics hosted by the Legal Aid of Northwest Texas, Ms. Ahluwalia serves as a legal advisor to Chetna, a non-profit organization working on issues related to domestic violence. She also spearheaded and participated in the inaugural annual legal aid clinic that was held to benefit the underprivileged South Asian community. Ms. Ahluwalia also served on the North American South Asian Bar Association's Executive Committee and is the founding president of the South Asian Bar Association of Dallas. Her speaking engagements have included being the speaker at the National South Asian Bar Association's annual conference, speaking at the conference held by the Texas chapter of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and a presenter to the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce activities. She has been featured in Texas Lawyer magazine for an article on law firm ethics. Ms. Ahluwalia speaks English, Hindi, Urdu and Spanish. Her office handles cases involving immigration and naturalization law, family law, business law, contract law and civil litigation. She can be contacted directly at 972-361-0606 or pallavi@yourdesilawyer.com. This has been...
Once again, ahluwalialaw.com is that website, and for your convenience, you can type in yourdesilawyer.com and it will take you to ahluwalialaw.com. 972-361-0606 is the number to get in touch with their front desk manager, and you can take an appointment to see Pallavi. For your private consultation, yes, that's the number, 972-361-0606. On-air consultation right now, you can... ask one brief question and Pallavi will be more than happy to help you right here. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. Taking your calls right now, 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. Once again, 972-235-5555. If you have any questions related to employment and family-based immigration matters, family law, corporate law, civil matters, well, now is the time to give us a call. Once again, that number is 972-235-5555. Let's welcome Pallavi Ahluwalia on the airwaves of Anisha Radio 104.9 FM. A very good morning to you, Pallavi. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much, Meetu, for hosting me. I'm glad to be here this Wednesday morning with Your Business Matters. I'm glad to take questions live on the air from our wonderful callers who keep all the attorneys in the Metroplex busy with their questions, and we're glad about that. Glad to answer questions. And we do ask people to catch up with what's important to them, and we do have a blog on my site, which is ahluwalialaw.com, and the easier keywords for you may be yourdesilawyer.com, just to make it easier with the spelling. And if you go there, we do have a weekly blog that just kind of gives you some information about what we think is important or something of value to our community of listeners. Now, also, this is something that I've talked about a little bit before, Meetu, and I want to bring this up again. And this is a call to all moms and dads who are undocumented but have U.S. citizen children who can do a few things to be prepared for the possibility that if they get picked up, their children need to be cared for in their absence. And there are some forms out there that we have talked about, but those are things or authorizations that you must have in place and have those signed off so that if something unfortunately were to happen, especially with SB4 coming, you at least have your children protected, and there is somebody who can step in to take care of the children while you either get arrested or are put into deportation proceedings, but are no longer around your children to care for them. So something that I want you all to be aware of. Secondly, I think one thing that is concerning us tremendously is the challenge that DACA may be facing. And a lot of you know we have the DREAM Act that happened several years back, and this was the deferred action for childhood arrivals. It has been going on since 2012. It gives people that were brought in with their parents and they were minors when they were brought in to get employment authorization to be able to work as well as go to college if that's what they need to do. And this is something that's going to be challenged by the wonderful state of Texas. So I believe there is a little bit of scrambling going on to understand what needs to be done here with DACA, and Republicans as well as Democrats in this case are on board in giving this some support, but there are 9 or 10 states that want to challenge DACA. So let's see the fate of that, but keep tuned in. Just go to From My Desk blog on ahluwalialaw.com, and you should be able to get the latest there. If there is something of concern, I'm going to post it there.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And once again, the website is ahluwalialaw.com, and for your convenience, you can type in yourdesilawyer.com, and that will redirect you to ahluwalialaw.com. Are we ready to take questions, Pallavi?
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
Let's do that. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. And yes, please keep your questions brief. We do want to give chance to all the people who are trying to reach Pallavi at this point of time. All right. Good morning to you. You're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, hi there. Actually, I'm working for one consulting company here in Irving, Texas. And last February, I got one project in Florida. And my employer filed a H-1B amendment. But after 3 months, I got RFE. And before we replied, my project is ended. So now if my employer withdraw the amendment, can I come back to my employer and start working with them?
Was that the previous case that was approved?
Yeah, previous case was approved, and my H-1 petition valid for this Irving location till September 2018.
Yes, you can revert back to that position if that is still in approval. So withdraw that amendment and just start working back there now with the fraud detection departments cross-checking into everything. If they were to call this in and come and check on you, then you'll have to show that you had moved based on that amendment that you had filed, and then you reverted back to this project. So just authenticate what you're working on at the employer side.
Okay, and what about the time period I work in Florida? Is it considered out of status?
No, I mean, it was based on a validly filed amendment, but you have to file a case that's provable. Right? So if you had just a 3-month stay there and you could show that an amendment was filed, it was valid employment, but it ended, and based on that ending of the project, you reverted back to your employer site as previously approved, then that should be justifiable.
Okay, thank you so much. That's the only thing.
All the best.
Thank you for your call. Once again, the number in the studio, 972-235-5555. Going to our next caller, Fanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, good morning. My quick question is, I'm on L1 visa. Last year, August, we filed my 140 and 485 under EB1, multinational manager category. And this year, they issued an RFE. It's been over 90 days. We already responded to the RFP, and it's over 90 days. So what should I do?
So the EB1 petition is not premium processed. The 90-day obligation to respond or 60 or even 180-day obligation does not exist with RFEs, especially on the I-140 that are filed under that category. So at this point, if the government is running late, it's as simple as that they are running late. So they should be looking at cases within 60 to, I'd say, 90 to 120 days. But if they're running behind, there is nothing you can hold them to at this point. So just be patient, just wait. Hopefully the response is good and you should get an approval. But at this point, I'll just say there is not any time that they have to adhere to. Right?
Okay, so just wait, do nothing. No, I don't have to generate any inquiry or anything.
Correct, you don't.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio. For all the listeners who are tuning in just now, this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. For private consultation, do give them a call at 972-361-0606. ahluwalialaw.com is their website. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question. Okay, I don't think we have that caller on the air, so we'll go to our next one. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. My employer is sponsoring me under EB1B category, and the question is, once I get my I-140 approved, am I allowed to change to another job? I'm under actually a non-profit category, and I was told I can only work from non-profit to non-profit. Is that true?
Yeah, so if it is that you have, so you're a professor researcher, what are you under EB1B?
Yes, yes, outstanding professor researcher.
Okay, so and you have a 485 that has been filed for over 6 months already?
Yes.
Okay, so, for all employment-based categories, there is mobility after 108 days. All right. But just as a word of caution, because there is a large amount of discretion that's at play, there have been new AC21 regulations that were also issued earlier in the year on the 17th of January of 2017. And from that time on, the interpretation of where you can move on and how you can go has become a little narrower. So it's been tailored down to from where you could have a 50% difference in your occupation, now it being you can only go up and down within that same occupation. So I'm hesitant to say you should be fine to move under the after I-140 approval and your 485 pending for over 6 months without being able to understand if that position, it's not about the employer as much as it's about your position and where you can move.
Okay, so just to understand the jargon, so am I allowed to move from non-profit to for-profit?
That may not be the issue. The issue may be the kind of work that you're going to be doing.
The kind of work. Okay, I see. That makes sense.
So,
thank you.
So that's the AC21 based change.
Okay. Okay, appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
Of course. All the best.
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you are live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, I got one general question. So I work for the IT, and a lot of times there are recruiters that they are overseas in India, and when you apply for a job, they ask you about your age. So I'm just wondering, can they do that because they are not in the U.S., but they're hiring for the companies in the U.S.? So is that legal for them to do it?
So your question is that you are being asked some screening questions that involve your age and is being done abroad. And the answer would be when it's being done abroad, then the laws of this country in that sense don't apply.
But the clients are here in U.S., but they're hiring, let's say they're hiring for a company here in U.S. They're not hiring for the company overseas. So are they still within the compliance or they are breaking the law?
Right. So unless there is a company that you can pin it on that's their preference and that's a U.S. company, you won't have options.
They won't have options. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, it has to be a U.S. company that is violating that provision, not so, which is no discrimination based on age, right? And that's a federal law. But
thank you so
if
much.
it's a company based abroad, then no. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you are live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello?
Yes, please, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, I have a question for my sister. I applied 12 years ago, my sister. She has a son. Son is 21, under 21. This time is 20. And when the interview, the 21 must be 21 or not?
Okay, so the Child Protection Act does protect people who are aging out by calculating their age at the time of the interview. So let's look at the final action dates for your preference category. Which country have you applied? Pakistan. Okay. So the priority dates for F4, which is a family-based sports category, right now is 2004. And you said you applied roughly about 12 years back, so you're kind of getting there. So at they already sent me papers. They're in the process. Okay, so we're talking about the NVC has sent you papers? Yeah, I already started sending paper. Okay, so at that point, they're going to check the age of the child. So at the time of the interview, it would be how long the I-130 had been pending would be deducted from the age of the child. All right, so if it was pending, say, for example, 2 years or 3 years, then they will deduct that. If the child is 21 at that point, his age will be lower than that, and most likely he'll be able to come. They see the date when they interview? Yes, at the time of the interview, he must be under 21 by the calculation or the math that they will do at that point. They deduct table for a time period. They take sometime 1 year, sometime 1.5 years, all process. Yeah. No, but you'll have to check on your I-130. When was it filed, the I-130, and was it filed, and when did it get approved? So if it took about 2 or 3 years, that's actually good, because that will allow the NVC and the counselor to deduct that pending time from his age. Okay. Okay. Little confused because all right. Sometimes take time 2 years.
All right. Thank you for your call. And moving on, 972-235-5555 number in the studio. You're live on the air.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead and ask your question to Pallavi. Can you please turn off your radio before you ask your question to Pallavi?
मैं करी. Hi मिठू.
हाय जी, हाय. आप अपना सवाल पूछ सकती हैं.
हाँ जी, मुझे ये सवाल करना है.
Yes, go ahead.
हाँ, मेरे ना हस्बैंड ने अपनी सिस्टर्स का अप्लाई किया है. अब इनका मेडिकल और ये सब आ गया है. एफिडेविट ऑफ सपोर्ट बनवानी है. तो क्या ये हर फैमिली के नाम होगी या एक ही बनेगी? अगर सारी सिस्टर्स का आया है तो सारों के लिए डिफरेंट एफिडेविट ऑफ सपोर्ट बनेगा. और वो कैलकुलेशन होगी आपके हस्बैंड के डिपेंडेंट्स के बेसिस पे. तो हाँ जी, उनका जिनको वो स्पॉन्सर करें उनका नाम हर एक 864 पे आएगा और आपके हस्बैंड को अपना इंफॉर्मेशन भी देनी पड़ेगी उसके अकॉर्डिंग. अच्छा, मेरी एक दोस्त है, वो मुझे एफिडेविट ऑफ सपोर्ट दे रही थी, तो वो 11-12 जाने हैं ये लोग. तो क्या उसका चलेगा एफिडेविट ऑफ सपोर्ट? या तो को स्पॉन्सर आप ले सकते हैं, पर उनको अपनी क्राइटेरिया में क्वालिफाई करना पड़ेगा. उनके कितने डिपेंडेंट है? हाँ जी, उनके कितने डिपेंडेंट है और वो किन उसकी एक ही है, उसका 70-80,000 उसकी वो है. ओके, तो उसके बेसिस पे देखना पड़ेगा कि अगर वो क्वालिफाई करें, क्योंकि अबाउट 55-60,000 चाहिए अगर 6-7 उनके डिपेंडेंट्स हो. और उसके बाद एक कैलकुलेशन से आप जितने और डिपेंडेंट्स हैं उनके एडिशन होते रहती है. अच्छा, क्योंकि 100,000 अगर होगा तो हो जाएगा. 100,000 पे 12 जाने हो जाएंगे, 11-12. हाँ जी, मोस्ट लाइकली यस. और अगर आपसे कांटेक्ट करना हो तो नंबर
मैं आपको बताती हूँ 972-235-5555. चलिए, मैंने अपना स्टूडियो का नंबर बता दिया, लेकिन चलिए उनका नंबर बताती हूँ. यू कैन कॉल देयर फ्रंट डेस्क मैनेजर एट 972-361-0606. दैट्स द नंबर टू कॉल. आप इस नंबर पे. हाँ जी, बोले.
मैं खट्टू.
अच्छा,
कैसी हैं आप?
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ. थैंक यू फॉर कॉलिंग इन दिस लीगल सेगमेंट. चलिए हम चलते हैं अपने अगले कॉलर पर. फन एशिया रेडियो, और लाइव ऑन द एयर. आपका नाम? All right, I'm so sorry. I think I shouldn't be asking the name Pallavi, right? My bad.
Yeah, but that's okay. For right now, we're good. Let's
go ahead and yes, go ahead and ask your question.
So right now my employer, I worked for one employer and he filed for my H1B and it is still in processing. And I'm just wondering, right now I'm in protected status. I completed my master's and as H1B was applied in a timely fashion, I'm in protected status. So I'm just wondering, and one thing is, they're gonna shut down the company on September 30th. So from September 30th forward, there will be, that company won't exist. So I'm just wondering what happens to my H1B in case it is approved, before October 1st.
Right, so you have to move that while that company is still open. You have to move that to another employer before 1st of October. So there is a way that you can. Yeah, you can move to another employer, but only you can move after you've been approved for that first H1.
Oh, okay. So I don't need to submit a paycheck, right?
No. This would be again beginning from the 1st of October. The employment will be beginning from the 1st of October. But just the fact that you've been selected for under the quota as well as been approved, you can move that number out to another employer for the employment to begin on the 1st of October.
So, but the people told that I have to get at least one paycheck or something like that.
No, that is only for a transfer after October 1st, but not prior.
Oh, okay. So as I haven't entered that time frame yet, I can move on, I can change. Is that what you're saying?
Correct, but you need an approval to change from.
Okay. So there will be no problem. Once it is approved, I can.
We've done several of these. There is never a problem with this. You just have to move only upon approval.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you for your call. Let's take one last caller very quickly. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Very quickly, ask your question to Pallavi.
Hi, this is Pankaj. In fact, I have done, my employer has only applied for EB3. And now I wanted to change it to EB2. I've done 3 years graduation from India. So is there any way I can move application or reapply for EB2?
EB2 could be applied for the exceptional ability category. Just check out that category. It does not require a 4-year degree. It requires 10 years of experience after you have a diploma. So based on that, yes, you can file for EB2. It would be grading or changing the case. Besides those basic qualifications of the diploma, which is under the 4-year degree, and the 10 years of experience, there are 3 or 4 more criteria that you have to fit into. You should be a member of association that has, in the work that you're doing. So, and you should have some awards that have been given. So there is qualifying criteria. It's a list. You can look through that list and just self-test to see if this is something that you can fit into, and then yes, you can do an EB3 based on less than the 4 years of degree and 10 years of experience.
So where I can find this list or criteria?
So you would just check on, of course you can come to our site and find links there as well, but you can go on to uscis.gov and look for exceptional ability, EB2 exceptional ability.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your call. And I was wanting to save some time to speak about a wonderful achievement actually, but we have exactly 1 minute on the clock, but I still want to go ahead and share it with our listeners here. And it is the big achievement of Ahluwalia Law Offices. And, they have been chosen out of 306 immigration lawyers in Dallas and picked for the list of top 20, and that's such an amazing news, and it's completely my pleasure to host you, Pallavi, on the airwaves of
Thank you.
Parisha.
Thank you, Meetu. Thank you so much. Thank you for that announcement and sharing it with our listeners. Appreciate that very much. And I think it's based on our clients, and their feedback is why we're figured out in that top 20. Appreciate that very much from the community and their support.
Absolutely. I do want you all to visit the website if you can. Will there be a link on your website so that the people can also enjoy the news?
Yeah, I haven't posted that yet, but yes, we will. We will post something out there.
Wonderful. A big congratulations to you and your team once again.
Thank you so much.